What's up, everybody? It's Mr. English here with another episode 3 of the iAm PrimeTime podcast. This is a solo, obviously, tonight, and basically what I wanted to do was kind of talk about some deeper issues in the YouTube game. And mainly, I wanted to talk about success, how to be successful in YouTube, the do's and don'ts that I've encountered and that many other people have encountered. And I guess the first topic is when you're starting YouTube, it can be really slow when you start out. And being slow is not a bad thing. People often flock to YouTube or other different social media outlets to be successful right away, but they don't really know what it takes. And what I've found out is that there is no quick way to be successful at YouTube. And what I mean by that is people utilize all kinds of different routes, different strategies to become successful. Some people think that subscribers means that the number of subscribers that you have means you're going to be successful. That is not true. In the case of YouTube, it's not true at all. You could have 10,000 subscribers and have no views, no interaction. So what I found out is that what's important to me is interaction with the people who are watching. And just because you do have a number of subscribers doesn't mean that those people are watching your videos. There's a number of issues that goes on with YouTube, being that, when you put out a new video, sometimes they don't get emailed to your subscribers, so they don't know that you put out a new video. They're subscribed to a number of other people on YouTube as well, so they just may find their way back to your channel at some point in time. And that's a really big issue with YouTube in itself, and basically people are always trying to find a way to get their content to the people that watch. What I've pretty much learned so far in this game is that it takes hard work and perseverance. There's no one trick pony to getting views or subscribers or whatnot, and there's no one trick pony to becoming successful ultimately. Basically, with YouTube, it is a trial and error phase. Ultimately, you want to try to get people that are going to watch and that are going to interact with you. To me, that's the most important thing. And I say that because there's plenty of different methods that people utilize, like sub for sub, and even paid services. I would say the best way to go about growing your subscriber base is not going the sub for sub method. And the reason being is because the sub for sub method is a method that ultimately doesn't benefit you in the long run. It does pad your stats, but it doesn't help the rest of your YouTube transaction, meaning that it doesn't help your views and it doesn't help your interaction. Basically, people that are trying to sub for sub are subbing for, they're using a method to try to pad their subscriber base, their stats, to look big. YouTube has combated that method a lot during the years, and it's not necessarily illegal. It's not gonna benefit you. You just gotta really make good content and ultimately stick to the grind, because it's not a fast method on YouTube to become known overnight. Basically, the things that I've done have been using social media outlets like Facebook, Twitter, constantly posting my videos or submitting the links on those social services, and ultimately staying alive, letting people know that who might come across you, like let them know that you're active. Like I said, there's many tools that you can use if you have money to pay, like using paid advertisement. One of my biggest things on YouTube is using paid advertisement through YouTube, because using Google AdWords definitely gets your videos out there. It may not get you the interaction, but if you have good content, those people eventually will interact with you and start to share your videos and stuff like that. And that's an underrated tool that a lot of people don't use. The other aspect is to group up and start to network with people that are in the same community. One of the biggest things that you'll run into is that a lot of people in your community that you make videos for, your genre, they don't necessarily like to network with you unless you are bigger than them and have something to offer. And that's kind of where it gets a little sticky in that situation, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are big, and if you notice that they ultimately stick to people that are around their same size or whatever, they like to network with each other, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, for smaller YouTubers, they don't really reach out to try to help them out. I mean, if you could think about it, if you can get one of those big YouTubers that have 2 or 3 million subscribers and they can shout you out, I mean, that'll enlighten a lot of people who follow them to start to follow you. You know, ultimately they don't really want that, because they don't want they don't want competition against themselves. So you ultimately find yourself in a spiral, trying to figure out how to reach the masses. And that's what YouTube is all about, trying to figure out how to reach the untapped masses to ultimately get your product out to them or get your channel out to them. And it's very, very hard. And yeah, I've had people ask me or tell me, hey, why do these people on social media, when you try to talk to them or do anything outside of a nice video or hey, what's up, shout out their video or anything like that, why don't they ever respond to you? And that's simply because when you think about it, they're giving away promotion. They are acknowledging you in terms which will make other people that follow them acknowledge you as well. And they don't really want that, because like I said, they don't really want their followers to find anybody else that may be more interesting or maybe have a different dynamic than you do. So it's a constant battle, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about business and it's all about your channel. But I sometimes feel like that is the wrong mode to go, because every successful YouTuber started off at the bottom, where most of us are. And maybe their big break came when they're acknowledged by that bigger person or that bigger channel who put them on, so to speak. And so I just kind of feel like it's a catch-22, and it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And you just got to kind of figure out how to break in to that mold. Now, I was saying earlier about using like Google AdWords and promoting your channel. People sometimes get scared off because you got to pay money. And ultimately, if you believe in your own brand, if you believe in your own thing, it's going to take money to make money. It takes a little bit of spending money to make some money. That's what they teach you in business. Or it's, you got to be willing to spend a little bit on what you believe is good to promote it. You could be one of those YouTubers, and I've come across plenty of them that make awesome videos. They know their stuff. They're on top of their game. But when you go to their channels, they have absolutely no views, no interaction, and and that can be really, really discouraging. And so, I try to network with people because ultimately networking is the biggest key in being successful. And that guy that only has like 25 views on an awesome video and like 50 subscribers, maybe one day he can blow up and have twice as many as you have. So it pays to kind of network with people because ultimately you're helping each other, which helps yourself. And it's a dirty game. Whether you want to believe it or not, or say it or not, it is a dirty game, and you really have to find your place and your niche, and then you got to just continue to build on it. I mean, there's some guys that I like in the tech community, in the gaming community, who have like way less videos than I've put out, and arguably their content may not be as good as mine or vice versa, but these people have way more views, way more subscribers, and you're trying to figure it out in your head. I do it all the time. I think in my head, I'm like, man, like, what are they doing to actually get out there? Like, what are they doing to get noticed? And how are they being successful? And that's the game. You got to kind of find out what people are doing to be successful, and what can you do to change the way that you're doing your thing to kind of fit that mold. So I feel like you got to use a lot of different tools. You got to use social media. You have to possibly spend a little bit of money to make some money. Now I remember sitting down. Well, I didn't really sit down. I remember having an exchange with MKBHD, aka Marcus Brownlee, in a short YouTube message conversation, and I asked him, you're really successful. What kind of things did you do to try to get as big as you are now? Like, what were you doing? Obviously, besides the obvious, him putting out videos and doing his thing, like, was there any other avenue that you explored, like Google AdWords or anything like that, to try to get in the game? When he started, it was way before I started. So I asked him, did he use Google AdWords to help promote? He said no, he never used Google AdWords to promote. And rightfully so, you know what I'm saying? He probably didn't really have to even go that route, because at the time when he started, YouTube wasn't really booming in terms of the tech community. Those guys had it made in the sense that they grinded it out and carved their own path. And, and so I kind of understood, but in this day, it's different. YouTube's different. There's constant changes going on. There's all kinds of different things that YouTube does that changes. They change their logarithm every time for views and stuff like that. So you see a lot of dips and a lot of changes, which can affect you in a positive or a negative. And ultimately, you just got to put your head down and keep creating the content that you like and that you love. Another big question that I got from a lot of YouTubers was, how do you get sponsorships? And this is like the number one question that I have and that other people have. And when I try to ask these guys, what did you do to try to get these review products and stuff like that, it was like a touchy subject excuse me, that you could kind of sense when you're talking to them, because it was kind of like, hey, what did you do to get some of these sponsorships or free products to review and give away? And no shade on those guys, but you know, a lot of them I still follow today because I really love the content. But you know, they didn't really offer anything as far as a guidance per se in how you should go about doing things. It was a thing that I had to kind of figure out on my own, that I'm just now figuring out and that I'm pursuing. You know, when you're looking for these companies to basically sponsor you via it be paid promotion, which I kind of don't really like myself, and getting review products, which is awesome. What it comes down to is you have to build your channel to a certain extent where when you apply to these companies or ask them, hey, do you mind sending out, you know, some review products or whatnot, they have to be able to kind of, your channel is basically your resume. They want to be able to go on there and see, okay, this guy has a lot of views and a lot of interaction. What they care about is the interaction. How many people are talking back to you? How many people are engaging with you on these videos? Because like I said, it doesn't matter if you have 10 or 20,000 views. If you don't have any engagement, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, well, what is this guy doing? He's getting a lot of views, but nobody's really interacting. It may look a little fishy to them. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink of my beer. And basically what that boils down to is, how are you building your brand? And that's one of the reasons why I said that Google AdWords is really good for getting your videos out there. But the negative side to Google AdWords is it doesn't really give you that interaction with people. Some people may comment, some people may not. But what I've figured out with Google AdWords is basically you're paying for views because you're paying for advertisement of your videos to be advertised all over YouTube when you're using Google AdWords. And sometimes, like I said, people watch, they click and they watch, but they don't really interact. And that's because a lot of people, like myself, when you find somebody who's putting out good content, you know what I mean, you may come back to them down the line a couple weeks, maybe a couple months later, and then you subscribe because you kind of want to see what they're doing, what kind of content they're putting out. So there's a lot of lurkers under videos that actually do watch, but you know, they don't feel the need to, you know, to subscribe you, to stick with you. And so the biggest hurdle is to really get that conversion of viewers to subscribers. And it's a really, really hard process. Like I said, there's nothing overnight that's going to happen. It could happen, but it's really not. Basically what you really want to do in tech community is try to build, you want to go out and try to build relationships with people, the companies that you probably are interested in. You need to actually go out and figure out a way to contact them and to talk to them, you know, say, you know, kind of like, what are you looking for? You know, say if you put in a proposal to a company, like, for example, like if you're in tech community, like AMD or NVIDIA, and you contact them, you say, hey, you know, this is my channel, this is what I do, this is how many subscribers I have, and ultimately, do you think that you could be able to part with a couple of review products that would benefit me and hopefully benefit you? They may come back to you and say, well, you know, this guy, you only have, you know, 1,000 subscribers. You know, you do have interaction, but, you know, your views aren't there. We don't really feel like it's beneficial to us to really give you anything to review because the, you know, your reach is not out there. that's a lot of the roadblocks that many people will run into with any company. And ultimately, just you have to just grind to build up your channel and a subscriber base and your interaction, because when you apply to these companies, that's the first thing they look at, is they go to your link and they see what's going on with your videos and your pages. So if you don't have that interaction, if you don't have those, that type of reach that they're looking for, they're not going to really entertain you. And but it always helps to follow up and stuff like that. Like I said, it can be very, very frustrating. Don't get discouraged by the people that you watch, you may consider, even if you have a substantial amount of subscribers and views and whatnot, and you're looking at your competitors that you watch or may like, and they, they're well above you, and ultimately you're trying to get to that level. Don't get discouraged by what they have, because like I said, you got to focus on what you do and how you better your own brand, and that's what it all comes down to. So if you guys really want to be successful, there are many ways that you can go about it. If you're looking for sponsorships and stuff like that, feel free to email me, talk to me. I can give you some advice as far as what you need to do, as far as trying to find these type of companies and stuff like that. But ultimately what I did and what I'm still doing is, when I started up until now too, a lot of things that I reviewed were things that I purchased for myself. I never went out there to just purchase anything just to make a review on it. I purchase things that I use on a daily, and those are the things that I make my reviews on. Now there are other options. Some people do the buy and return method, which I really don't recommend, because you can kind of get into trouble. Say for example, if you go to Target or Walmart or Best Buy, and you start buying stuff, you're making the reviews and then you return it within the return window. Ultimately you can get caught up. It can be pretty bad for you. Because they try to track that stuff, so a lot of people use cash and they buy things cash, and then they return it after they do their review, and that's what a lot of people do. It's not, I don't look down on it, and I don't say it's bad. It's a method, you know what I mean? People are gonna use any method that they can, because a lot of us don't have a lot of people don't have full-time jobs. A lot of people don't have the kind of money to go out and buy the really expensive product to do reviews on. So, you just, like I said, it boils down to networking and to figure out ways to get those products that are hot. For example, like iPhones and stuff like that, Samsungs, when they come out, to try to do those reviews. Ultimately, it's like the same thing when you guys watch MTV and BT and stuff like that, and you see these guys flossing around in cars and with all this jewelry. A lot of that stuff is rented. A lot of that stuff is rented for that day only when they make those videos and stuff like that. So you in your head think, oh man, they got all the stuff. How can I get that stuff? That's ultimately what the business is. You got to figure out a way for you to get products on your own, and then make those videos successful, to make other companies look at you and say, you know what, this guy has something going on, this girl has something going on, and maybe they'll be willing to take a shot, a chance with you. But like I said, the polar opposite, or the next best thing to do, is to stay relevant on social media, and reaching out to the people who watch you on a constant basis, and being available. There's no, it's always the best thing to be available to the people who watch you, because a lot of people have comments. Over this weekend, I literally spent probably about 45 minutes of my day talking to a guy who had watched a video of a product that I reviewed, and he was like, I purchased this product and I watched the video and it was really, really good, and it was really popular, and I'm really having trouble setting this thing up, on my console and stuff like that. Can you help me out? And I mean, I was out of my house. I wasn't even on my computer. I was out of my house, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I can ignore this guy. I'll tell him to figure it out and use Google or whatnot. But I was like, ultimately, I felt like an obligation to try to help him as much as I could to try to get his problem solved. That's not my my role. I mean, I could have just told him, go to the company, and figure it out. But I kind of felt like it was my duty to help him out, because he felt the need to, instead of going to the company, to reach out to me and ask me because he saw my video. And so I think that 45 minutes was worth it, because this guy got his stuff set up and it was working fine. And I felt good, because that's what you're there for. When people are there to reach out to you and talk to you, you need to be available, and not think of them as just a number, as subs, as analytics. You got to really, really dig deep, and because people aren't just a number, they're not just analytics. You got to really care about the people who are watching you, and ultimately you have to define your goal in the YouTube game. Are you doing it for money? Are you doing it whatever reason you're doing it for? You have to stick to those values and try to definitely maximize your profit, maximize your subscriber base, maximize whatever that's important to you. And for me, the whole package is important. I want people to notice me. I want people to reach out to me. I want to be available. I don't want them to look at my videos and be like, man, this guy is awesome. I wonder if I reach out to him, talk to him, if he'll talk to me. Heck yeah, I talk to everybody. When I'm working or when I have downtime, I browse people's pages, random pages, and I just see what they're doing, and I'll comment on them, what I'm saying, or offer anything that I can, any advice. I've emailed countless people, talked to countless people about their goals and what they should do, and they've asked me plenty of questions, those questions that when I reached out to people, they wouldn't answer them, or they'll find a roundabout way to try to answer my question, and ultimately not help me at all. So like I said, you're gonna run into people that are, in a sense, selfish. They don't want to give up their secrets, and rightfully so. If you have a formula that works, nobody's gonna run out and just say, hey, this is the formula that I use. But you have to realize that even though you give somebody the information, it takes them and their hard work to actually put in, to put that kind of work in to see results. So you could tell anybody anything, and ultimately it's up to them to build their own brand, build their own channel. So like I said, this YouTube community is it's a small community, even though it's very large. But the world is small. It's a small world, and a lot of these guys, maybe if they see you get clout, they see you growing, maybe they'll be more willing to collaborate with you and stuff like that. And that's an important thing as well. But nobody's gonna run out and just give you all the tools to your success. You got to kind of figure those things out, and that's a really, really important thing. And ultimately, like I said, it's up to you how you do things, but there are methods that you can use that will benefit you. There are methods that you can use that won't benefit you, and ultimately, like I said, it comes down to what you really want to do. I personally would stay away from sites and stuff like that will they're everywhere. Oh, we'll get you this many views, blah blah blah. You just pay a price, because ultimately that doesn't help you. Like I said, you can go pay for a bunch of views but have zero interaction, and ultimately it doesn't really help you. So, and the same thing with subscribers. I mean, you can do sub for sub, but if you're doing sub for sub and the people that sub to you look at your channel and say, man, I don't like his channel at all, I don't like the channel, there's nothing on his channel that interests me, they're gonna unsubscribe you. So it doesn't really help you. The people are watching the videos, it's gonna help you. If they're gonna interact with you, it's gonna help you. You just gotta kind of figure out what you're doing aside from your passion. When you put out a video, if you're happy with it, that's all that really matters in a way. The next step is, how can you advertise that product that you feel good about? And that's the second step. Because like I said, there's many people on YouTube that put out good content, great content, superb content, and nobody sees it. It sits there. It's something you constantly have to chase. I mean, it goes down from using tag words, you know what I'm saying, to keywords. All that stuff is very, very important. There is a program or an addition that you can use on your Chrome browser named TubeBuddy that works really, really well. This is definitely not paid advertisement, but it's a really good program to use to help you basically key in your videos. It will help you with tag words when you're doing your tag words on your videos. You can type in tag words and write your descriptions on your videos, and then you can go to suggesting tag words, and it'll tell you how those tag words rank as far as YouTube goes. If it's good or if it's not, if it's really competitive, if it's not. And you can kind of play around with stuff like that, and it really helps you see the scope beyond making a good video and then just, publishing it. There's a lot of steps that go in to getting your video seen and reaching the right people. So like I said, there are many, many ways to do those things. And like I said, success doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And you have to be willing to be in it for the long haul to see any kind of fruition, any kind of success at all. I've had plenty of people say, man, your videos are great. Like, damn, you're gonna be like the next MKBHD and stuff like that. And it is flattering, but at the same time, it's like, I need like 10,000 more of people like you to see those videos. I need 10,000 more people like you that think the same way, because ultimately, if people don't see that video, you won't get that success. So you got to figure out different ways to try to maximize what you're trying to do. And it just takes time. It's a process, man. And there's no easy way about it. There's no fast track. Like I said, I could wake up tomorrow and one of my videos could be over 1 million views. That's amazing. But how do I keep that going? You know what I mean? And ultimately, people like to, join networks and stuff like that. On my gaming channel, iAm with full screen. On my main channel, I do not have a network. I don't necessarily feel like networks help you do that journey. I don't feel like they really necessarily help you grow. They do offer some tools, but those tools aren't there it's not a end all be all, like, oh, if I join full screen, I'm going to make it big. A lot of these networks and YouTube especially cater to the people who have large amounts of fan base, basically who are really successful, because it benefits those people more. It benefits YouTube, it benefits those networks who have those huge channels, who have large gatherings, large followings. It benefits them to make more money. So ultimately those deals that you see going on, all those like I said, all the sponsorships and stuff, that happens with growth. And when they see you being successful, they're willing to put themselves out there to support you, to sponsor you, and stuff like that. So it's just a process, man. And don't get discouraged. If you only have like 1,000 subs or less, or you're grinding it out, you're making good videos, and you can't figure out why you're not being viewed, you can't figure out why nobody's subscribing, because you're literally like a speck in the sea. You just got to kind of figure out how to gain momentum. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And like I said, grind it out on social media. Social signals are huge. Not so much at Google Plus, since they're doing the whole separation thing, stuff like that. But Facebook, Twitter, you got to get out there. You got to get noticed. You gotta network, and ultimately you will start to see success as time goes on. And that's all I really have. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. If you have anything to add, make sure you put it in the comments below. Feel free to talk to me. Feel free to email me. And all that good stuff, man, because I'm always here for you guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm also trying to continue to grow myself, but I have no problems with trying to help people out, give them advice, show them in the right direction, point them in the right direction, and sit down and ultimately just talk to you and see where you're trying to go, see what you're trying to do. I have no problems with trying to help you, because helping you helps the community, helps me, helps you, helps everyone. And that's what it's all about. It's about network and communication. What I've learned in my life is that sometimes it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And so don't get caught up in the whole hype of, I gotta have 4K, I gotta be able to shoot 4K, I gotta have a slider, I have to have this, I have to have that. Spend your money wisely. Think about the things that you really, really need to up your game, up your quality, stuff like that. But it comes with time. Not everybody can afford to go run out and be able to shoot 4K. Nobody can run out and go buy the best tripod. Nobody can go out and buy the best slider. Nobody can, go out and just do all that stuff when they want, and stuff like that. They don't have the funds for that stuff. So you just got to figure out what you can get that's quality, that'll be able to hold you over until you're able to upgrade. It's a lot of things in this game. You just got to be prepared for it. And ultimately, you got to stick with the time. You got to continue to evolve. Check out what your competition is doing. See what you can do better that they're doing that's working for them, that may be able to work for you. But it's not a rat race. You can't chase your competition and say, well, this guy's got a $40,000 camera. I need a $40,000 camera. Otherwise, I'm not going to be successful. If you're thinking like that, then you're going to fail. You got to do what you got to do, but you got to be smart about it. And that's basically it. So thanks you guys again for watching. I know I said this earlier, but thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And hit me up, social media. I'm always available. I'll respond when I can. And I'm out.